To these kids, it's just afternoon story time, but in terms of literacy development, it's so much more. Just like a baby goes through different stages learning how to walk, toddlers go through different phases learning how to read.
They'll learn how to talk, they'll learn how later to read and then write. So there's a whole progression of steps or stages of development of literacy. So the earlier you can introduce all of these steps, starting with reading, it just helps the child to be more successful as they get older.
Mother Goose tales or stories with patterns can be very beneficial in kickstarting your child's reading journey.
And we choose the repetitive, so more the classic stories, the Three Little Pigs, the Gingerbread Man. So the more we read them, the better that the kids are going to learn them and understand them, and then they'll actually read the story with us. So they're memorizing as we're reading to them.
Though most of these children cannot yet comprehend the words, the basic act of reading aloud and memorizing is an essential step in learning how to read.
They'll look at the pictures and they may tell you a story about the book that is maybe not related at all to the book, but they're telling it from the picture. Then if they'll relate it to the story, like we read the Three Little Pigs, so they relate the picture to the story. And as they get older, they'll start recognizing the words and the sounds that the letters make to make those words, and then they'll eventually go from the memorization to the actual reading.
To further develop your child's reading skills, it's recommended to engage them with words not only found in books, but in everyday scenarios.
Any kind of language will expose the children to reading, so you can read menus, you can read the signs, you can read alphabets, you read to them, even just talking to them about pictures or maybe things that they see in their community. It's going to build their vocabulary will increase, and then that just builds into the literacy aspect.
And as much as daily reading can help a child's development, a lack of it could also hold them back.
It is a little bit more difficult when all of a sudden you're in a learning environment where they're putting a lot of emphasis on this learning to read, and if you don't have a lot of experience with a book, or you just haven't had a chance to really develop an appreciation for this being a fun and worthwhile activity, it can be a little bit more painful to get that process going.
And as librarian Morgan Peltier says, reading books can become quite the healthy addiction.
As they come back more and more, you can see them really kind of getting more drawn to the stories, and they're like, oh, we're gonna read a storybook. Oh, I like those. What's gonna happen in this one? We're talking about it. I get to tell what I think is going to happen, that sort of thing.
And it also makes for some quality one-on-one time with your child. For Go Peace Country's Parenting 101, I'm Kyla Corpus.